I have overall found them very, very good. Coming from eBay, it is a lot easier to list your cards on Card Market. I mean, it makes sense because it's a specialist card selling site and card buying site, and often using a specialist site that's selling just what you're selling can have its advantages, because obviously it's set out more for such a thing. You know, it's not too bad listing cards on eBay. You can do bulk listings and that kind of thing, but I would say Card Market definitely makes it easier. There is a really good search facility. Once you know the keywords, what to search for, like set types, name of card, that kind of thing, shouldn't be too hard to find the card on the database and then list however many you've got to sell yourselves. You can add any of your own images if you want to, as well as other notes such as condition, if there's anything that makes this card unique and that kind of thing. It's all very well laid out and easy to get the hang of. I will say one thing, you can't list a huge amount of different franchises, and that may be a problem for some. I mean, it does contain options for some of the most popular ones, so Pokemon, Magic the Gathering, Dragon Ball Z, Star Wars, etc, etc. There's a good chance what you want to list is on there, but there's some that aren't, such as Warhammer, for example. I like to buy and I also like to sell Warhammer, so I can't sell any Warhammer cards on there, and obviously I can't buy any. That's where I will still be using eBay for things like that. Now, I have been using Vinted a lot more than eBay because I'm having a lot more success on there lately. My eBay shop has been receiving less hits of late, and my Vinted has been receiving more. But I haven't really had much luck selling cards on Vinted, so I feel that eBay is perhaps a better of the two for the platform. Maybe for other people it's different. Obviously you've also got the auction aspect of eBay, and that can be good. If you want to do things on auction, if you've got cards that you think might go well on auction, then eBay can still be worth it. But the fees on Card Market are considerably lower overall. I think for most people it should work out a better deal. I was paying the second tier shop price on eBay for quite a while, but while my sales have gone down there, I'm no longer paying a shop price because I'm just not listing enough on there at the moment for it to be worth it, where I'm listing so much more on Card Market. And you just don't have that cost in order to run a shop on Card Market. You can have your own nice little shop on Card Market without the massive fees that eBay still asks for. And I've just found a lot more problems with eBay. In terms of sellers, obviously any platform can have issues with sellers and issues with buyers. It's my experience so far, and I appreciate I haven't been on Card Market for nearly as long as I have on eBay, but all the typical issues that I was getting with eBay, such as people saying their cards haven't turned up, they've been damaged. Sometimes it wasn't hard to realise that they were trying to pull the fast one. They did actually have the cards. Obviously that does happen. Sometimes of course they were getting lost in Royal Mail. Weirdly, even using the same service, which so far on Card Market has only been Royal Mail, people have been using as a postage service, as a postage choice, I haven't had any of the same issues, and all the cards seem to be getting to their destination, which is interesting. Yeah, so I'm pleased with that. I will also say I have bought off Card Market and it's been a good experience. Obviously there are lots of sellers, so you do kind of need to learn which sellers are worth using and that kind of thing. There are reviews, you do have a feedback, there is a feedback section on Card Market, so you can use that. That's kind of like the eBay one where people will rate how they have found you, so that's all present and correct. Yeah, overall highly recommended so far. I'm not going to say that I'm sure there's going to be some issues. I'm not going to say it's perfect, but so far my experience is very good, and I am just finding it so much quicker, easier, more streamlined to list than eBay, because obviously, as I say, it's a specialist site. Yes, you've got that thing that eBay opens you up to an already existing amount of many people ready to look at your listing. Yes, it does, and some people will say that is worth paying for, through the fees and that, and yes, you could argue that, definitely. But card market is a pretty big market, and also people looking for cards, maybe they're a bit more likely to go somewhere like Card Market, a specialist site, than eBay, so you might not struggle too badly on there at all in that way. It didn't take me long to get my first sale at all, and I've been quite consistent since on Card Market. So far I've just been listing around 50 to 100 cards a day. You can obviously list whatever suits you. I'm guessing, I don't really know how this works with Card Market, but I'm guessing there's probably some kind of algorithm where the more you list, the more it will help send you at the front. Or maybe if you get good feedback, or maybe if you just have extra sales, maybe that will help push you out the front. Another handy feature I like on Card Market is there's a trending page. So each part of the website has its own franchise for buying and selling. So for example, if I was on the Star Wars section, what I can look at, there will be a trending section. It will show you the cards or the packs, anything related that are selling particularly fast. So you might want to list those first. That is something you can do. There's all graphs and charts showing the typical average price. You can look at the typical price of a card or any other product related in a particular country, for example. It's very comprehensive, so it can really help you learn the market and get ahead of what others are doing. You might not always be able to compete on price, but you might be able to compete in another way. Of course, one of the most important ways is customer service. So just like with eBay, that's your main focus, and of course packing the cards as carefully as possible, as always, is really important. Card Market provide lots of handy deals as well to make selling on there a smooth experience. They've got some really handy articles that are well worth reading. I found them helpful, such as ways to package cards, how they recommend, the keywords in order to search up a certain card, things like that, because you can manually just start adding your cards, but the easiest and quickest way seems to be search for the card on the database and then add your ones and all the relevant information. And it saves so much time because pictures are already with the card. So for example, if I was looking for a particular Pikachu on that database, I can search it up, it will already have a picture. So you say I've got one to list, I can just list one and how much I want to sell it for, and any other information I need to give, and then there you go, good to go. If for example, if I'm saying, well, you're going to get a near mint Pikachu, then I've said near mint, so it needs to be near mint. If you want to show a picture, and that is a good idea if, say, maybe it's a bit of a played card, for example, and you want to show that there is a wrinkle on the bottom left corner, then I would personally definitely attach a photo yourself that you have taken to show that. But it's obviously up to you how you want to sort out the photo situation. But yeah, overall, I'm really pleased I've moved to Card Market. I haven't completely left eBay. My shop still exists, but I probably won't be selling cards so much on there because I'm finding eBay not so good now as Card Market. I kept hearing about Card Market and wasn't sure. You hear mixed things just like anywhere, but really with these things you just have to try it yourself and see if it works for you. The final straw was a few weeks ago when someone on TikTok mentioned it again, just casually, when they were opening some boosters, and I was like, right, okay, I'm gonna look on Card Market, see if there's some stuff to buy, and maybe see if there's some stuff to sell. And I ended up selling on there and becoming a regular seller. I've listed as a business seller now. You can just be a private seller, but because I'm selling in quite a big bulk and I want to have a shop on there, I am indeed listed as a business seller. But you don't need loads and loads of information, just a sort of standard amount, not too much, to register as a business seller. And I also found customer service so far, when I had a few questions about things I wasn't sure how to do, really helpful. Quick response, really helpful. so much better than eBay. It was refreshing. So yeah, overall, if you haven't yet taken a plunge and decided to sell on Card Market and you've been thinking about it, I would recommend it, and I would like to know your thoughts as well, both as a buyer and a seller. If you're a buyer or a seller or both on Card Market, how you found it so far.